What's going on, my Light Ones? This is your boy Mash the MC back again, and today we have a special video. Well, not too special, but it's another Hype Kage video. You know how much I enjoy these because the more he talks, the more my head cannon goes crazy. And this one is called "The Reason Why Kaido Admires the Way of the Samurai." See, the reason why I chose this one is because actually I think last week I made a similar video titled Kaido's Death Poem, and it was talking about how Kaido admires the samurai because of the way they seek death. Well, not seek death, but where they're always prepared for death, and that how dying is an honorable thing for them, and you always want to die with honor, not dishonor, and how Kaido's always been seeking basically a honorable death. So he admires the way of the samurai in that way. But that's what I have. So let's just jump into the video and see if he has anything else to say, and just go for that. Yeah.
Alright guys, welcome back with me with another YouTube
Welcome back,
video.
dog.
So today I'll talking about why Kaido admires the way of the samurai. So, make sure to stay tuned for that.
Yes sir, we here,
if you
bro.
do enjoy seeing this anime
hit that
reviews
like.
and want to keep them coming, the best thing
There it
you
is,
can
like,
do is smash that like button, and if
subscribe,
you haven't,
and
be
the
sure to
bell notification. You already
subscribe,
know how the
and
vibe
this is
goes.
crucial, hit that notification bell.
He said
or
it's
you will miss
crucial.
future anime videos.
All right, you guys already know. Before I get too deep into the video, I talk about my take on the situation. The reason why Kaido admires the samurai is because from the first introduction to Kaido's character, he wanted to commit suicide. He wants to die, and he said it himself. Death is what completes a person. He admires like a Whitebeard and Rodger because they did it right. They died in an honorable way, cementing their legacy. And I think Kaido wants that for himself. He wants to cement his legacy, and he knows that it's an honorable death is a perfect way to cement his legacy. That's why he's always wanted to start the greatest war this planet's ever seen. Because I feel like he not only wants to cement his legacy, but also die in battle. And then everyone knows him as the renowned strongest creature in the world, the one who started the war with everyone in the world, and who died in battle, but has ballsy enough to even start a war with the world government and everyone else. So I feel that that's the reason why he honors or admires the samurai, because the samurai are always ready for battle. I think it was Bushido, and not Bushido not being ready for battle, but the honorable death part of Bushido. But that's my take on it. Let's get into the video and see what else he has to say.
I think we've reached the point in Kaido's characterization where we
Also, now he put a picture of Yamato. Now if you think about it, so I think he not only wants to start the greatest war this planet has ever seen, but he also wants to leave his legacy on Wano, because Wano was the place that it all started. Like him getting Smile Devil Fruits and giving them to the Beast Pirates to bolster his army to eventually start the war, start the greatest war this planet has ever seen. And after that, a bunch of times, it's like almost like a tongue twister at this point. But that was the reason why he was so upset when Doflamingo got captured, because he wanted to keep the Smile train going and bolster his army more before he started the war. That's why when Big Mom and him like offered it in lines to each other, that he took it right away, because he wants to start that war. He still wants that battle. He's still seeking that pleasure. And if you watch read the last chapter, or like 2 chapters ago when Luffy was falling, he was sad because he got so fired up, because Kaido wants he loves battle, but he also wants an honorable death, because that was like the first thing he was introduced to his character by him trying to commit suicide. And if he gets Yamato, his son, to be the shogun of Wano, not only does he cement his legacy in the world as the strongest creature, but then he also starts a lineage in Wano itself. Even though some people may hate him, like people in the leftover towns may hate him, but the people in the Flower Capital, Beast Pirates, the Pleasures, the Waiters, well, maybe not the Pleasures and the Waiters right now because of everything with Queen, but before that, the Gifters and the people in the Flower Capital, they admire him because of everything they've done. They helped him with the they've helped them have a nice life. He made it so that the Flower Capital was still a safe sanction. Even if it wasn't really Kaido, it was actually Orochi, because Kaido actually wants to drop Onigashima on them. But for right now, they like the fact that Kaido's backs them and they're in a better light than the people of the leftover towns. But that's what I have for now. Let's jump into the video and keep going. Yeah,
we can piece together some of his prominent traits, both good and bad. Kaido says he admires the way of the samurai and
there we go. See, but death is what completes a person. He admires it. Yep.
Death as the completion of a man. It's assumed his admiration for the way of the samurai, Bushido, includes the death practices in it.
There you go. Oh, like
such as seppuku, or one versus
Bro.
one honorable duels, or death in grand battles, immortalizing a samurai.
See, okay, that's about, like almost like exactly what I was saying. Like they want that battle, dying in battle, or having that one-on-one legendary battle. Samurai, they yearn for that. They enjoy battle. I think samurai always want to die in an honorable way. They never want to die in dishonor. Kaido wants to die in an honorable way. That's why in the video I also mentioned that how Higurashi interrupting his battle with Oden was like blasphemous to him, because like that was a battle he's been looking for and searching for so long. Like I think he even says that, like, I've been waiting for a person like you for a while in the anime when he was fighting Oden. So like when Higurashi to ruin that fight, it was like dishonor to him. And I feel like ever since then, he's been looking for an honorable way to die, or just to die in general, because he's living with such dishonor and he can't kill himself. So yeah.
Samurai's legacy. Kaido is in duels or death in grand battles, immortalizing a samurai's legacy. Kaido is introduced trying to commit suicide, so you could say it's seppuku. He's applauded as the undisputed king of 1v1 battles.
Yep. And when it's 1-on-1, always bet on Kaido. And after last chapter, I think it's going to remain that way for quite some time until we see more from everyone else. Maybe even Kaido gets out of Wano and possibly fights an admiral. We have no idea if that's going to happen, but it could. But land, sea, or air, always bet on Kaido, they say.
He's obsessed with going out in a blaze of glory in a Great World War.
Let's start the greatest war the planet's ever, the world ever seen. Yeah, like this is like almost like on par with what I was thinking.
So Kaido is Japanophile weeb, right? No,
he's a weeb.
He's wrong. Because of course he is. He's the villain. He's supposed to be wrong.
What?
Oden and the vassals follow Bushido, so their enemy can't also be following Bushido, or else we would have a way more complicated conflict. Kaido romanticizes the final part of Bushido.
Yes, he exactly. Not the whole thing itself, but just the dying part.
Without caring about everything else. He doesn't care.
Well, I wouldn't say, because like I don't, like I mentioned, like he doesn't like appreciate dishonor, like, and he likes fair fights. That's why, like, when it was 5v1, he's like, yo, Big Mom, sit back, I got this. Like, he likes fair fights. He knows it was 2v2, 2v5, it would have been too easy. Obviously, it ended up being a 2v5 and nonetheless, but Kaido does like other parts besides just the death part, I feel like.
About honor, or justice, or self-mastery, or self-discipline, I means he's an alcoholic
for
God's sake,
that's true,
or meditation and everything else that makes Bushido an entire life philosophy and not just a death code. Kaido is the equivalent of the guy who reads about Musashi Miyamoto and his legendary duels and his fame thousands of years after his death and doesn't recognize that Miyamoto had a whole life outside of just the legends and his immortality after death.
And that's just not even in that story in particular. A lot of people just, they tend to hold in on one thing, like with athletes. Like in the real world, like people tune into the athlete on the TV, but they don't know like the life that he's living on the outside. So I was like, I know that's like a completely from Japanese to American way to think about things, but like, yeah, that's what.
And that whole life is also encompassed by Bushido. It's an entire life philosophy, and Kaido only sees
rectitude, courage, benevolence. I love that word. My fish name's actually named benevolent. There we go. Politeness, honesty, and sincerity, and honor, loyalty, character, and self-control. Loyalty part, big thing, because Kaido already talked about. Kaido actually enjoys the betrayal of pirates. He, like, when he talked about it, he was actually smiling. He was actually enjoying it. So like loyalty, definitely out there. Honesty, he lied to Oden. Benevolence, definitely not. Rectitude, courage, I would say courage. Politeness, hell no. Honor, yeah, I think he has honor and character and self-control. He doesn't have self-control because he always wants to kill himself. He's always drinking himself under the table. And sincerity, come on, it's Kaido. Like, come on.
Sees the death part because it supposedly cements everlasting legacy.
They did it right. Yep, Oden with
so
Whitebeard.
We see Kaido wanting a Rodger-like legacy without actually putting in the legwork to be like Rodger. This latest chapter makes it even more clear. Kaido probably...
Okay, you can't say not putting in the legwork like Rodger, because yes, Rodger went and found the One Piece, but literally Kaido's wanting to bolster his armor to start the greatest war the planet's ever seen. Maybe not to just die, maybe he was also to get the One Piece, because now he's trying to team up with Big Mom, and now they're going to get the ancient weapons to end up getting the One Piece, so he or they can become king of the pirates. So you can't say not putting the legwork like Rodger, because Rodger did everything. Kaido's been around for quite some time. Him going to Wano and going to a place that's secluded from the rest of the world to start bolstering his army, creating the Smile Devil Fruit, because he knew that Vegapunk has the algorithm or the equation to actually do it. So you can't say he didn't really try or didn't put in the legwork. My man was literally systematically growing an army in a secluded place, and then eventually going to take it over like he's doing right now, take over the Fog Capital, leave his son in charge, and then go and try to start a war with the rest of the world. So I think he was trying to put in the legwork for that. You're talking about Bushido though? Hell no, he doesn't do that.
Kaido was denied a big honorable 1v1 duel against Oden when Higurashi interfered, and Kaido 20 years ago was too scared to try fighting Oden again, so he executed him.
Oh,
now
you think
he's
so?
entirely full of regret because he believes there cannot be a more worthy enemy to have died to than Oden, including the emperors.
He's looking for you. He's saying
Kaido is an alcoholic, so already he cannot pull off self-discipline at all. Note that Zoro is a heavy drinker but not an alcoholic. He's never even been shown actually drunk before.
Interesting. That's actually
Kaido is also a pirate, and he can't stop being one, so already honor and justice are out of the window since his form of piracy is clearly incompatible with such things.
Oh, so his piracy and Bushido, I think he's comparing the two, yes. But Kaido as a pirate, he embodies a perfect pirate. Like, he wants to be able to do whatever he wants. Like, he wants to start the world, the greatest war this world's ever seen. So saying that, so Kaido as a pirate himself, like, he embodies a true pirate. He wants to be free. He has the strength to be free. He robs, he cheats, he steals. Like, I mean, granted, there are different types of pirates. Like Luffy, the Straw Hats are a completely different type of pirate group than the Beast Pirates. But for Kaido as like base value pirate, when people like when you ask the world government what kind of pirate, like what are pirates, Kaido is like the poster boy for that.
Kaido cannot become a samurai even though he admires them, so he just cheats and jumps to great legacies in death that samurai achieve, even though it's impossible to get the legacy without the actual way of samurai.
I think he wants, but the thing is, you gotta remember, he wants that legacy. Like, it wasn't that he's been hiding in Wano by, like, he's gone out in the world. Like, he's faced other people. Like, he's fought Whitebeard. He's fought Shanks. Like, he's went out and tried to find people. And remember, he said he was waiting for someone like Oden. That means he's been trying to find someone strong for quite some time and hasn't. And that's why he was getting fired up with Luffy, because he was actually getting that kind of challenge. Him and Big Mom probably didn't have that malicious nature with each other. Like, granted, like when they saw each other, they fought. But he knew that Big Mom would never go as far to kill him. Like, maybe like defeat him, but not kill him. And that's why he's like a little wary of Big Mom. Like, remember, like, Big Mom was actually fighting Kaido on par without Zeus, and now she has Hera, an upgraded form of Zeus. So, I mean, that's off the table, but that's neither here or there. But we continue.
Samurai itself. It's even interesting that Ryuma, a samurai, exists as one of the oldest characters known by name in the verse because his legacy was so great. Yet Rocks, Kaido's former captain, from just 40 years ago, is practically an unknown in the verse. Interestingly, Ryuma is not only remembered for his strength but his sense of justice.
But he was remembered in mostly Wano. Like, I don't think many people on the outside world probably know about Ryuma. Xebec was such a madman that the war government was like, yo, bro, if people find out about this guy, like, yeah, Rodger said One Piece is out there. Whitebeard said the One Piece is real, but Xebec, my man was literally a menace to society. If there was a menace to society poster boy, this would be. Look at this face, bro. Look at this face and tell me this guy's not a menace, bro. And we don't even know much about him. What if he was like the nicest guy? He just wanted to take over the world. Like, what if he was like an angel? But he's like, I don't like the celestial dragons and I want to take over the world. You never know. Like, he did depict. Like, remember, the Navy depicts all the people as evil people. They depict Luffy as an evil person, but when people get to know Luffy, that he's actually a different person. Yes, Luffy is very selfish in his acts and how he goes about things, but he's still a nice person. He still does nice things, and that's how the story's written.
While Rocks could have easily been the strongest in the verse, but his supposed heinous crimes were so severe they were wiped from history.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this isn't even just a world government thing. Joy Boy still has a legacy despite the government trying to silence him too.
So Joy Boy actually is known throughout the world, but Rocks isn't. So that just goes to show you, maybe not on the power level side, but on the way that they think about Rocks, it leads towards Rocks being a complete madman.
Was really worthy. He would have had a real legacy as well. But Rocks wasn't. Even Teach, who supposedly carries this legacy, will fail because it's a bad legacy from a bad man. He was an unjust man, so when the government silenced him, he was truly silenced. Unlike just men like Ryuma.
But side note, Saber of Xebec, literally right now. So if Blackbeard gets, let's say Kaido and Big Mom die in Wano. If Kaido gets both of those devil fruits, he creates these Sabers of Xebec. He basically recreates the Rocks pirates without actually recreating the Rocks pirates. Like, he has the devil fruits that are, he has the devil fruits of the people that were on the Rocks pirates under his belt. And that would technically be the Sabers of Xebec, because Xebec's people had those devil fruits when they were fighting. So that's a little side note.
Joy Boy or Rodger. So when the government silenced him, he was truly silenced. Unlike just men like Ryuma, Joy Boy or Rodger. This is a very interesting idea Oda is doing with New World villains. Giving them seemingly great ambitions, but giving them severe character flaws that make their ambitions impossible.
But I mean, everyone has character flaws,
Big
though.
Mom wants racial equality, but only through her eyes.
That's
Cody
true.
wants to stop fishmen oppression, but by race wars.
Whoa.
Doflamingo wants to destroy the celestial dragons, but by killing everyone so the celestials have no one to rule.
Ooh.
Kaido wants great legacies in the deaths of good men, but he's a bad man and doesn't realize bad men don't get great legacies in this verse.
That one's a little stretch, but I get it. Oh, that's it. Okay, so in all, the reason why Kaido admires the way of the samurai, I think he admires the way of an honorable death. He wants an honorable death just like how samurais do. He wants a legendary battle, 1v1, where he rides off into the sunset and literally dies. But right now, we don't see anyone actually giving it to him. That's why he's known as the strongest creature in the world. But what do you guys think? What do you think? Actually, not what do you guys think about admiring Kaido admiring the way of the samurai? Because I mean, we already touched on every point. But what do you guys think happens to Kaido? Do you think he gets that legendary one-on-one and then he ends up dying, or he faces all the Straw Hats and dies, or he faces like basically the whole alliance or the pirate alliance or the raid and then dies by that? But does he get the honorable death he's been seeking, or does he realize that he doesn't need one to cement his legacy and ride off into the sunset and just go live somewhere else and no one sees from him ever again? So leave a comment down below, and like I said at the end of every single video, leave a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell button to remain enlightened, y'all. Peace.